Welcome to the Redirect Podcast. I'm Abigail Freshley.
And I'm Emily Rojas. The Redirect Podcast is the show where we shift the conversation back to books. We discuss themes for some of our favorite books and how those themes show up in our real lived experiences.
On today's episode, we are catching up on all things books, answering some listener Q&As, and sharing a very exciting announcement.
But first, before we get to that, we would love for you to support the show in a few really simple ways if you enjoy it. First, you can go on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify and leave us a 5-star review and tell us how much you love our show.
You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Redirect Podcast, Emily on all platforms at Emily Rojas Reads, and me on Instagram at Fabigail Insta and on TikTok at Fabigail11. And if you really, really like the show, we encourage you to share our show with a friend. Sharing our show with a friend is by far the best way to grow our community of book-loving nerds.
We've actually gotten a few new reviews on Apple Podcasts lately.
Good.
Which is more rare. I feel like more people review us on Spotify, and they've been really nice. And you guys got us back up to 4.8 stars after our descent to 4.7. So keep up the good work. Maybe we can get to 4.9.
Love it.
Yeah. So anyways, thank you to the people who have reviewed us. It's really nice. I like Apple Podcasts because they can write stuff. On Spotify, it's just stars. Like, okay.
Or like if they leave a comment,
see how easy it is?
people like publicly can't see it. Only the like.
Yeah.
Because like I'll go and look for and that you had sent me, but I can't see it. Only you can because you're like the owner.
Who knew?
Yeah.
I thought they were public. Anyway, yeah. So go, even if you listen on Spotify, head on over to Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars.
Yes.
But you don't have to. But thank you to those people who did. All right.
Yes.
Big announcement. That's what you're here for, I'm sure.
Okay. The big announcement is that, well, there's two. We have merch, baby.
We have merch.
You know what?
I'm about to be our number one merch buyer.
I'm about to outfit my whole wardrobe with our merch. And you might be wondering to yourself, well, where should I go to peruse and purchase that merch? Tote bags, t-shirts, stickers. I don't actually know exactly what's going to be in the merch shops. I only know the designs. So
all of those things. Yeah.
Okay, great. You can search for our merch and check out our catalog and lots of other stuff at redirectpodcast.com. So we have a website now too. And it
only took us 3.5 years.
It took us 3.5 years. And this extremely amateur website Emily and I have been working on for like over a month, 2 months now. Yeah. So, you know, but we're here.
We're here.
We have a website. On our website, you can send us a message if you want. So for those of you who are like, if you want an easy way to send us a long form message, you can do that on the website. Obviously, you can slide in our DMs, but some people prefer not to do that. You can search through our whole catalog and stream through the website. You can shop for merch. And I think like we also have like a file sharing capacity and like a blog capacity. So, you know, throughout the year, we might share some things that we've made or some reflections or extra tidbits like that. But
more to come.
We're excited.
But it's there. It's live. We're really excited. I think like, yeah, I don't know. This whole thing I've been thinking about lately because obviously the website and we've gotten a lot of new followers lately. And it's like, yeah, I never really gave it any thought that people might listen to this. So it never really occurred to me that we should have a website because like I just thought this was for fun. Right. So it's cool that people are listening and genuinely the merch we made for ourselves. Yeah. So if you're like us, you might like the merch.
Look, I have to say, here's what we did not want the merch to be. We did not want the merch to be like just a bunch of stuff that has a Redirect Podcast logo on it. That is boring. Yeah. Our logo is not that exciting. There are like, this feels like it has character. It's unique. And like the Redirect Podcast of it all is like pretty subdued. And like, so go check it out. That's what I'm saying. Like if you were like, a tote bag with the podcast logo. No.
How dare you?
This is fun.
How dare you think we would do that? Yeah, we're having fun.
Fun.
We're making things we want to personally like desperate for this to go live so that I can go purchase our own merch.
Yes, I know. I'm excited. So yeah, and by the way, we're purchasing our own merch. Yeah, we are paying for it. So
And yeah, if you have ideas for merch, also, we're completely just amateur vibes, so
we can go whip something
whatever.
up in Canva ASAP, baby. Whatever you want.
Got some ideas.
Just don't get us sued, you know? Don't give us a merch idea that would get us sued.
Yeah, we're walking a fine line as it is. But we're having a great
we're
time.
already on a fine line. Go check out the merch store to see.
Go check out the merch. Okay, that's redirectpodcast.com, READ direct podcast.
Yes, READ podcast.
Yeah.
READ direct.
Exactly. REA direct podcast.com.
REA direct podcast.com. Okay.
So to celebrate, we opened up listener Q&A and we got some fun questions. So thank you guys for not embarrassing us like you did with the listener. I'm so scarred from that episode. So anyways, first of all, someone asked, who is a book character that you resonate with? And I would love to hear if you have an answer, or I can vamp until you think of one.
I was actually thinking about this in some ways because I just read Futbolista by Johnny Garza Villa, or Johnny Villa Garza.
Yes.
Which one?
Johnny Garza Villa is correct.
Johnny Garza Villa. And that's kind of spoiling something for later in the episode. So this is a book you gave me. I read it. I really liked it. We'll talk more about it. But I felt like, obviously, my life is so different from the main character of this book, Gabby. I am not a boy. I am not a soccer player. I am not Mexican American. And I'm not in college. But I feel like I resonated with him in so many ways. In the way that, like, he is on this journey to, like, he's like so much self-denial. You know, like he is like he's on this journey where he's like denying his own sexuality. And he's like, no, like, you know, it's totally normal. Like everyone kind of like imagines their friends naked, you know, stuff like that. And so obviously like our stories are different, but I feel like I resonated with just being a young person, like early adulthood, later adolescence, and trying to make sense of myself in so many different ways, including sexuality, but being like, no, that couldn't be true. Like even, I've been reflecting on faith deconstruction a lot recently because I've been talking about that a lot on the internet. And, even just the denial of like that happening, you know? So that's like a very recent read. I'm sure there's another better answer to this question. Like a character I resonate with even more, but that was a recent one I resonate with. His journey to figuring himself out and and also he says many times, like part of the book is he's in a philosophy class and he's 18 and he tells his philosophy professor that he's already figured out everything about himself. And that's how I felt at 18. I genuinely was like, no, I already know everything about myself.
I got this.
I don't need to go through any sort of self-exploration journey. Like most people go to college and they're dealing with that, but like I'm really mature and I already know everything about myself.
I felt the same way. Yeah, totally.
And I don't know if most 18-year-olds feel that way or if it was more, 50-50. There's other factors, but I really resonated with that naivety. And I resonated with him. What about you? I'd love to hear your answer to this question.
Totally. That's a great answer. I think I remember texting you as I was originally reading Futbolista and saying how much I also resonated with Gabby's character and his like, I think I said it on the podcast actually. Like I am the type of person often where people will tell me things about myself that I haven't gotten there yet. So like, and that's something that happens to him in this book. And I think, it was just that's a good book. I can't wait to talk about it more. I don't know. As you're talking, like I should have thought of an answer. I'm trying to think of like a book that like people would know, you know. But I feel like I see a little bit of myself in a lot of, let's say, Emily Henry book characters. I'm gonna narrow it down because
I was thinking like a book character that denies their own feelings. Or like I don't know, like I think you're a little bit of a Harriet, maybe.
I was gonna say I feel a lot like Harriet, and I think probably part of why Happy Place is so familiar and my favorite book. I think because she is, I identify a lot. My parents are not like Harriet's parents. My parents are incredibly supportive and like loving and warm people, great parents. And still, I have self-imposed a feeling through my entire life of like, I have to make them happy, have to, like, I was talking to them about this one time, semi-recently, where I was like, you guys never gave me the impression, this is like my entitled life. My parents never gave me the impression that they wouldn't pay for me to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
However, when I was applying to college, in my mind, my thought was, I have to get a full ride or I can't go to college. If I don't get a full, and the choices I made about where I went to college was because it was the most financial aid. And my parents genuinely never said that to me. I now understand that they would have, you know, if I had gotten a half scholarship, they would have helped me with the rest, which is an amazing thing for them to be willing to do. But for some reason in my mind, I was like, no, like I can only go to school if I find a way to pay for it, despite them never giving me that impression. So yeah, I feel like I relate to Harriet a lot in terms of like, I have to be perfect. I have to do the right thing. And sometimes that prevents you from like doing the thing that you want to do or the thing that's true to you
her whole
or
relationship
whatever.
with Win, where she's like, on paper, like, even though it feels like we love each other, like logically this doesn't really make sense. So I should like deny it. And like, even though this isn't, it's not what my heart wants, like on paper, it seems like
it's
I
not
shouldn't
the right
be
thing
with Win
right now.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like that's
so,
you coded.
Harriet. She's very me coded. And I love it. Yeah. That's why I reread that book compulsively. So that would be the one. Love it. Thank you.
Good question.
See what I mean?
Listener.
Sometimes I need you to tell me which book
exactly. Full circle moment.
Yeah. So you guys get what I'm saying. That was a great question. Okay. Next question. What are your thoughts on listening to an audiobook, then buying a physical copy as a trophy?
Love it.
Do you do this?
Sure.
Yeah. Pro.
I
as long as you're buying it from an independent bookstore.
I get super precious about like when you should buy books, when you shouldn't. Just live your life and be happy. I'm on the team personally for my own life where I don't want to just accumulate a bunch of books because I don't want to keep more things clean and I don't want to move them from location to location. This is my truth.
Yes.
So I'm a big library user. I also don't have the budget to buy books. Like I see some people online buying books, but like if that's your journey, please go forth. I think for me, the books I have on my bookshelf are things that are like gifts from friends, things I found in my little free library, or books I've already read that I know I love and I want to reread again. Like I want to own a physical copy of it. But like, if you listen to an audiobook and then buy a physical copy as a trophy, good for you. Audiobook listening is the same thing as reading.
Totally.
Happy for you.
I agree. I'm trying to make this my journey. I have not bought a single book in like a year almost,
good for you.
Unless I really had to. And today I almost caved, because I was talking to my friend, Allie about, In Memoriam. She texted me about it. And then I started looking at it. It's on sale. And I was like, should I buy it? But that's the same thing to me. Like I read it from the library and I loved it so much that I do want a physical copy. It's something I knew I would want to reread one day. So that's the approach I try to take to books. If I know I would want to reread it. But have your trophies. I don't care. Buy books. Support authors. Yeah. That's
great.
Love it.
And also know that if you choose to buy a book, we recommend you buy it from a local bookstore.
Yeah.
Like an indie bookshop or online at thriftbooks.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or bookshop.org.
Or bookshop.org. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, I agree with that. Okay. What are your thoughts on reading holiday novels that like not during their respective seasons?
Like a Christmas book not in Christmas?
Yeah. Like a Christmas book in June.
I'm not like totally against. I don't think I have a strong opinion about this. I guess I don't really care what people do with their free time. It's not hurting anyone.
I don't care either.
But would I do it? I feel like maybe I've done it before.
Yeah, I have done this. I was thinking I read a book that, what is that freaking book? The night, it's like the kiss. Hold on.
Wait, didn't you read that one that was like a mystery one? It's like a close.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. By Allie Carter. I read that in like June or July in the summer. So if it's like a good, here's the thing. If it's a Christmas book, which there are a lot of those, I would only read those at Christmas time. But if it's a book that's been recommended to me, or like I have high trust that it's going to be a really good quality book, I would read it year round. Yeah. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
But like those like Kindle Unlimited Christmas books, I'll put those down at December 15th, but I'm not going to read them in May, personally.
Yeah, I think if it's like otherwise a good book outside of like the novelty of the theme, then yes. Otherwise, spend your time doing something else. Read a book that's novel to that time of year.
Agree.
Or do whatever you want and disregard what I'm saying, because I don't care what you do at your own home.
Yeah, but that's they asked our thoughts. That's our thoughts.
My thought is I would not do it unless it was like, okay, a good example to me is The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. This is like a book that spans generations and time periods, but a lot of it happens around the holidays, like especially Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's really a Thanksgiving book. It's one of the rare Thanksgiving books. But this book is so good that you could read it in any time of year. And I would say that was fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, last question that wasn't even a Q&A submitted, but someone commented something on our Heated Rivalry post, and they were like, I thought we should just answer it as a question because they were saying should they read Heated Rivalry the Game Changer series, because they really liked the experience of watching season 1 unspoiled and not knowing what was going to happen. But now they're getting kind of stressed hearing things about what's going to happen in the long game. So do you think they should go ahead and read the series, or should they continue to enjoy the experience of not knowing what's going to happen, which is something they really liked about watching season 1?
I think you should read it. But I just think that you should read it anyway, because I think that is as much as I love the show, I think reading it was even I think they're so two distinct experiences.
Yes.
And it's like, I had read the book multiple times by the time I watched the show, and it still felt like I didn't know what was about to happen.
Yeah, totally.
It still felt like an original experience.
It still felt, yes. Even though it's like such a close adaptation, it still felt like, wait, what's going to happen next? I don't know.
No, I just think people deserve the experience of having a private experience with a book.
That's nice.
You know,
that's
where
nice
it's like,
put it. Yeah.
I think you should, the characters that you haven't met yet on the screen.
Yeah.
Because there will be new characters and throughout the series that have not appeared on the show yet. I think that you should, commenter, that you should experience in your imagination what those characters are like before you see them on screen.
Oh, that's nice.
And because then if you see a show or a movie first, then you go back and read the book, you're imagining the actor.
Then you already have that.
And you're kind of missing, I think, a little bit of the experience of imagining. Because I think about this with Hunger Games, for instance. I read Hunger Games as they were coming out before the movies came out. And I know in my head, I had a vision of what the characters looked like. But now I cannot remember.
It's lost. Yeah.
Because now it's just the actors.
Yeah. Same with Twilight.
And Harry Potter.
I know I had a strong opinion, but yeah. They're gone.
Yeah, I had totally. In my head I had a picture of Edward and Bella that was so clear. Yeah. And now I don't.
Now it's gone. Yeah. So enjoy that experience.
Yes.
I agree. And I think if you really want to not read the long game, you could read the first 4 books in the series. And I would stop before Role Model, but because that would be a spoiler. Yeah. And I feel strongly that they're probably only going to adapt Role Model in the long game. I don't think they're going to do the
tough guy.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to do tough guy. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. I don't feel like they're going to put as much time into it. So I think you could read those and probably be safe in terms of what's going to happen in the TV show, and then hold off if you really didn't want to be spoiled. So. And then you could read Heated Rivalry and see what your experience is like reading it, having already watched the show, and decide, maybe I do want to keep going and read the long game as well. So
I just think if you really love the show, why not open yourself up to the full experience?
Especially Scott and Kip. There's a whole world there. I mean, that's not my favorite book, but you might like it.
They jammed that into one episode, there's a whole other
there's
thing
so much there. Yeah. So. Okay, thank you guys for your listener questions. That was really fun. And again, you can go to redirectpodcast.com
OMG.
And send us a message if you have anything else you want to talk to us about.
Yeah, we'll read it. I got to make sure that that's actually connected to something. So that would be
before this goes live. Yes. That would be devastating. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what have we read recently? Ooh la la.
I'm so pumped to get to this section of the episode. So first of all, I want to report I was in a reading slump. Abigail knows because I texted you, and I didn't read anything you recommended because whatever. I have been sick. I couldn't go to the library. So anyways, it's the whole thing. But I am out. I'm free. I have read, like, I had bronchitis. I still do. And last weekend, didn't get up, read all weekend. I'm back on my fan fiction bullshit. I'm back in my reading. Anyways, read some great books. First of all, I read a book that I think you should read before you read another book I gave you, which is I Think They Love You by Julian Winters.
Okay, so hold off on the other one.
Yes, which is Last First Kiss by Julian Winters.
All right, I'm listening. This book comes before, and putting it on hold.
Yes, this book comes before chronologically, and it has similar characters, and I actually think I would have benefited from reading this first, so that's why I'm saying that. It's called I Think They Love You.
They love you. Okay.
This was I mean, I can't even emphasize how much I love this book. It was so good. Okay, so so if you don't remember, I talked a little bit about Last First Kiss, but so this is set in the same world, and the main character in this one, his name is Denz, and he is the son of the CEO of this like very luxurious celebrity elite event planning company in Atlanta, and so he's like also something of like an influencer, like a micro influencer. I think he has like 80,000 followers. So he's not a huge guy, but he's like a little bit of a local celebrity. And, anyways, so he works for this event planning company. His sister also works there. He's like the director of social media or whatever. And in college, he had a long-term relationship with this guy named Braylon.
Okay.
And they were deeply, deeply in love. Like, and gonna start a future together. And then after graduation or whatever, their careers kind of took them in two different directions. And Braylon made the decision to like take a job far away and whatever. So they break up. It's like devastating to Denz. Haven't seen each other since. Haven't talked since. Then all of a sudden one day, he's at his local coffee shop right by his, office picking up muffins. And who walks in but Braylon, freshly back from spending several years in England. He looks different. He has like a slight accent from his time living over there. And through a series of like comical events, basically Denz needs to prove that he can be serious, and he's like only into hookups since his family gives him a hard time, and his dad's retiring, so somebody needs to be the CEO. It's between him and his sister, and he's like, I need to prove that I'm serious. I need to get into a fake dating long-term relationship. He tries to set something up with his friend, Jamie, who's one of the main characters in the second book. But that falls through, and at the last second, he somehow, it's like very comical, but he ends up fake dating Braylon, who is his ex. And it's so good. It's like so, I don't know, it just like ripped my heart out. If you're a longtime listener, I love second chance romance. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but this was like, I believed in both of these people and like the journeys they had to go on to make their way back to each other, which I think is like really hard to do sometimes in these breakup stories. And I liked that it was set in Atlanta. That was like fun. And the family dynamics are really interesting. And like, I just love them. Like, I loved them so much together. I think there was like so much good chemistry, and the like slow burn, the agonizing forced proximity with your ex who you're still in love with. Just so good. So I really recommend this. It's so good.
Looking forward to it. I got it immediately. So
great.
That is amazing. No wait. I wanted to add about the second chance thing. So I recently moderated a panel with 3 romance authors. One of the commonalities between those 3 authors and the books I read of theirs is that they have all written second chance. So I asked them about, why do you like writing second chance, and like what compels you to second chance? And because I was like, it's kind of controversial. Some people really don't like it.
Yeah.
And they were like, I think the reason sometimes people don't like second chance is because you see something really, really bad that somebody did. and you can't get over it. And it's like really hard to forgive the past transgression of the character. And you think that maybe they just should never have gotten back together. But then they were like, the reason we really like it is because you immediately have all of this intimacy and chemistry. You don't have to build that throughout the book. Like they immediately know each other intimately, and they have to earn each other's forgiveness and love back. And I was like, that's an interesting perspective. And looking, the authors were J.C. Lee, Jeannie Cho, and Julie too. And so I recommend you guys go check them out. But it was true. Like among the three books, the characters, instead of spending time falling in love, they spent time earning each other's trust back. And while it still isn't my favorite trope, I feel like I understand it better now. The appeal.
Yeah. And I think it is a really hard, like, fine line to walk as a writer, because you do not, like, I really liked this because the conflict was career stuff. It's stuff that everyone can relate to. It wasn't like anything cheating or anything horrible. Like, that can be hard. So I liked that. Like, it still required growth on both their parts, but I feel like it wasn't like unforgivable and nobody was really in the wrong. So that's what I liked about this. And yeah, I love that. I love that to me, it makes like the agony and the angst so much better, because you start off knowing that like there's love there and that there's intimacy there, and you just can't have it. And like they're right there, but you can't access that. And I feel like that's so painful, and I love it so much. So
okay, I will give it a shot. And I'm glad I haven't read the other one first, because I almost picked that up first. So I rather than what I did read this week. So yeah.
I mean, you can read them out of order if like that works out for the listener, that you can pick one up before the other. But the stories, like the end of this kind of feeds into the next one. So there's a little bit more context. But yeah. Great. What have you read first that you want to talk about?
Okay, I'll just go in chronological order. The first thing I read was Fun Home by Alison Bechdel. The Bechdel test. So,
yes,
this is something me and Zach, went on a little like downtown free date the other day. Like we took the train downtown. We went to this free museum in LA, and then we walked to the Central Library downtown.
Cute.
And we perused the Central Library, and they had like a huge graphic novel and art selection. And I was looking through, and I saw Fun Home by Alison Bechdel, which is like, it's always on the top of the list for like best graphic memoirs. And so I picked it up, and I didn't really know what to expect, but this was a graphic novel that absolutely rocked me emotionally. It is a mentally ill dad memoir.
Yes.
It is gay. Alison Bechdel is a lesbian, and also while never confirmed, it seems as though her dad was also a closeted gay man. And she so masterfully uses her father's life as a mirror to her own life, and books. And he was really into literature, and his love of literature and different like classic books to tell the story of his life and her life and the similarities and the way that like he wounded her, the way they were similar, how they connected, how they healed, how they got pushed apart. It is, it's really good. And the captions, I mean, it's the other thing that's crazy about it is it's a graphic novel. So you think, okay, how can the writing really be that good? But the masterful thing about this graphic novel is how she uses the limited amount of words to convey like very deep messages. And it's so beautiful. And the art is also great and obviously helps to tell the story. But it's like, it was really good. Like I get why this is like at the top of the list. It's not just because of her name.
Sure.
So yeah.
You had me. Well, you had me at mentally ill dad, to be frank.
It's a mentally ill dad memoir. It's a complicated daddy issues, growing up like in the 70s, realizing you're gay kind of thing.
Love it. I can't wait to check this out.
The fun home is because her family's business was in this small town. They owned a funeral home, and she and her siblings called it the fun home. And that in itself is also kind of a mirror into her life. Making light of some of these like very dark things that have happened. Couldn't recommend it enough.
I'm set. I'm ready.
Yeah, go read it and report back. And obviously you can read it pretty quickly. So
yeah.
All right, back to you.
Okay, so I read 2 books by Cara Bastone, and the first one I read was Ready or Not, and this one was 4.5 stars. Okay, so I will give you my negative 0.5, but everything else was great. So this follows, it's first person, so I feel like whenever it's a first person
it's really hard
book, it's even harder to remember their names. Anyways, Eve, the day you meet Eve, chapter 1, page 1, she is at her gynecologist and she is taking a pregnancy test. And she is finding out that she is unexpectedly pregnant with her one night stand hot bartender hookup from a month ago. And despite her using protection and whatever, it all failed and she's pregnant. And
nightmare scenario.
Okay. So it's a shock and she doesn't really know what she's going to do. And so she has this best friend whose name is Willa, and Willa has been going through many, many years of infertility with her husband and really struggling to have a child. And Lord. when Eve tells Willa that she's pregnant, Willa is for valid reasons, but also it's difficult. She's not able to be there as a friend in the same way that she probably should be or whatever if she didn't have this very real trauma and baggage and it's just complicated. And so in her absence, Willa's older brother, whose name is Shep, who is also their childhood best friends, the 3 of them have always been kind of a little trio, he steps up and all of a sudden Eve is maybe seeing him in a new light. And look, I would never have picked this up.
Does she give the baby to the friend?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, God, that does not happen.
I thought she was going and I was supposed to be no.
That does not happen. It is a very, real take, I think, on a real experience that a lot of people have in friendships where, you're going through your own shit and you can't be there for your friends and vice versa. This happens. It's not always as extreme as, my friend's pregnant and I've been suffering this traumatic infertility, but, I feel like this happens to everyone. You have been the friend that can't be there for your friend or isn't there or fails to be there in the way you should. And you've also been the friend that's happened to you. And so I thought this was really compassionately written. There are times where Eve is genuinely mad at Willa, and there's times where she's oh, I completely understand why she can't be there for me and at this appointment or whatever. I mean, this was so beautiful.
So she decides to keep the baby.
She does decide to keep the baby. The father is in a relationship with someone. They had been broken up for a week when they hooked up and then they got back together, so they can't be together. And it's
Lord.
Just this whole it's this whole found fan. I don't know. It's finding the people around you, and I don't know. It was just really lovely. She has so Eve is the daughter, a surprise daughter to 2 50-year-olds who accidentally didn't think they could get pregnant anymore. And she has 3 much older brothers, and she has these co-workers, and she kind of keeps at arm's length. And it's having this pregnancy sort of breaks her open in a way because she has to rely on other people. And I thought that was really lovely. The relationship with her brothers that's been really distant and weird. It also has a lot to do with grief. Willa and Shep's mom, who was a surrogate mom to Eve, died the year earlier. And so they're all kind of dealing with that. And this was one of the most top tier slow burns I've ever read in my life. The yearning is crazy. I just never would have picked this up for myself. It's not the tropes that I normally would want to read, but I really, really liked it. It got a little much. Like, you could tell, and the author wrote this in the author's notes, that she had, like, either she was pregnant or she just had a baby when she wrote it. It got a little much of, like, motherhood changes you. Because it's like, there are really bad mothers out there. Like, I just don't buy into that. I'm sure it does change you as a person. I'm not saying it doesn't. But, like, there are also mothers that, like, don't have their hearts softened, you know? Like,
it doesn't make everyone a good person.
Yeah. So that got to be a little much at the end. But, yeah, I just thought this was, like, shockingly, incredibly sweet romance. Really liked it.
Okay.
But by the same author, a god tier. I want to buy it so I can read it over and over again. And I think you should read this one in particular because I think you would really like the male main character in this one specifically. And this is called Promise Me Sunshine. And okay, so this one is about Lenny, and she her life is like falling apart because her best friend, Lou, just recently died of ovarian cancer after a really long battle. And they had been living together. They were roommates. They grew up together. This was like her best friend in the world. And so she like can't cope with this and is kind of like, before this, she had been like a long-term nanny for multiple families. And now she's like just taking short-term babysitting jobs just to like barely live because she's like, I can show up and be functioning for like 1 or 2 days. And that's basically the extent of it. And then I need a break. And she's like not going back to her apartment because she shared it with Lou and like, it's just too hard. She's going through it. And so she gets this job for the weekend babysitting Ainsley for Reese, who is a single mom whose her father just passed away and he had been like helping with the co-parenting essentially. He died really suddenly and, so she just needs help for like a weekend for a work trip. And then that's supposed to be it. But she's kind of looking for long-term help. But Lenny's like, I can't do it. So anyway, she goes to help for this weekend. And while she's there, she meets Ainsley's uncle, who is Miles. And he does not make a good impression. He's like immediately like, is this girl a drug addict? Mm-hmm. And he's Reese's half brother. So there's like weird family dynamics there. He like wants to be around but doesn't really know how to be, and so things start off on a bad foot. Mm-hmm. But pretty quickly they have this sort of like random encounter where Miles is like, can you please help me learn how to be like an uncle? I don't know how to deal with kids, I don't know how to be around kids, but I really want to be there. This is like my only family I have left, and I want to connect with them. And can you help me? And in return, I have been through myself like tremendous grief and loss, and I will help you learn how to get over this. And like, I have the spare apartment in the city. You can stay there.
Of course.
Of course. And
who
Lenny
has a spare
this,
apartment, by the way?
I know. Well, he just inherited the apartment from the dad who died. And so he has where he was living before. And so anyways, Lenny has this like list of things that Lou left her to like do to live again, and he's like, I'm gonna help you check off your list. But he's just good. It's just so, I was crying at 4 a.m. I almost texted you and Emma and was like, I never want you guys to die. I love you guys and value your friendship so much. Like the female friendship, because you get these flashbacks of her friendship with Lou. And there's one point where Miles is like, oh, I understand. Like, she wasn't your friend. She was your comrade. Like, you guys went through everything together. And she's like, that like touches Lenny's heart. And this is another one about like opening up your heart and like letting people into like the worst part of your life. And he helps her like make friends who weren't just Lou. And like, I don't know. He's like this like standoffish kind of asshole, but like really also very tender and heartbroken himself and grieving. And like, I don't know, this was so good. I love books about grief, so that's not surprising. Yeah. But like, I don't know, like
a to be read for me. I don't know if I want to read it right now.
Yeah, don't have to read it right now. I think just specifically that certain things about the male main character you would appreciate. Okay. But yeah, this was, I mean, peak. I can't really say enough how much this like moved me and yeah, made me think about life and and falling in love. Also, what Cara Bastone does, and this might, I don't know, I'm being more free with the edit lately, but this is one of the few
romance... you are not.
I left a lot in of the Bridgerton episode, okay? Old me would not have left some of that in. I've come a long way. Anyways, Cara Bastone, both these books I've read, one of the only romance authors I've ever read where the couple they don't kiss and then instantly have sex. So like the slow burn becomes even more excruciating because it's like there's a kiss and then there's like we're falling asleep in the same bed and then like we're like it felt more really natural, but also like it kind of stretches out that slow burn in a crazy way where like I don't know, it feels like sometimes authors hold back physical intimacy, like they don't even touch, and then all of a sudden their hands are like they're holding hands and then they're making out and then they're having sex. This was like, oh, we're gonna like brush hand, or we're gonna hold hands kind of in the movies, but then we're not gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, I just like the way she does the physical intimacy in her books.
Okay,
that was the case in both. So
I want to save that one for a rainy day. I don't know if I want to read about the grief like that right now, but.
Dude, yeah. Be prepared. This one, that one was quite emotional, but very good. So yeah, that's basically it. Besides fan fiction, which as always, my DMs are open if you need Wolfstar. Or lately, you've been sending me more Holonoff, so I've been getting to those. Either one. DM me for
There's a good one I'm really liking right now. That's like, it's fun, and it's a work in progress. It's called, The Ottawa Centaurs Have a PR Problem. And they're married. And that's fun. So
yeah, you sent that one to me. So yeah, there's a lot of good. Also, I'll say without being specific, because sometimes I'm like, okay, if I'm like one of the few people commenting on this fic that I'm now promoting publicly on my podcast, I'm effectively doxing myself. So anyways, what I'll say is Old Dogs Fest is posting right now, which is a fandom event for Wolfstar fans. And all of the fics are older Wolfstar. So they have to be older than 30, which is not that old, but that's for the reason that they die very young in canon. So anyways, I think it's been great. I've been reading a lot of those and they're really fun. So if you like older characters in your fan fiction, go check that out. That's it. What are the rest of the books you've read? If you can't tell, we're both I got a husky on death's door
baritone going. Okay. First 5-star book of the year. The Sweet Spot by Amy Popel. Wow, what to even say about this book?
I don't know.
All right. This is a book that I think is about so much more than what is on the back flap.
Okay.
This is one of those, it's told from many different points of view and perspectives, and it follows like 4 to 5 women that live in Brooklyn whose lives are crossing paths. So there is Lauren, who is a potter, and she has like a ceramicist, and she has been hired by essentially like Gwyneth Paltrow, okay, who has like this whole Goop brand to create handmade stuff for her brand. And she needs help. So her mother comes into town, who she has a weird relationship with, but her kids start going to this new school, and the receptionist at the new school is the ex-wife of the woman, of the man who Felicity, who's like the Gwyneth Paltrow character, like stole her husband away. So there's like all of these, they're like all crossing their lives, crossing over. The men in their lives too are really wonderful. They're not the main focus, as they shouldn't be. But they're fantastic. One of my favorite male characters I've read in a really long time is in this book. And essentially, they all get bound together by necessity because they have to come together to take care of a baby who is left in their charge. And I can't reveal the circumstances of how that happens.
Oh my God.
But it is hilarious and heartwarming. Oh, and there's another girl too, is one of the employees for Felicity, who also ends up working for Lauren as her nanny. Okay. It's multi-generational women. Love their relationships with each other. They're at odds. They work together. And it's named The Sweet Spot because the home that Lauren lives in is situated on top of a bar called The Sweet Spot. But also it's about the sweet spot in life and like the tension between like who you are and who you're becoming, what your relationship is and what you think it should be, and like being enemies and friends. And I don't even know how to explain it. Yeah. It was just so good. Like I could not put it down. As per usual, I did a combination of reading with my eyes and listening to the audiobook. And the audiobook is narrated by a full cast of actors.
Fun.
Which is really nice too, because there are many different perspectives. So that really helps to keep everything sorted out. But it was just so good. And I really want you to read it. I want everyone to read it. It got me out of a book funk.
Yes.
So couldn't recommend it enough.
Yeah, this was one of the ones you recommended to me when I texted you that I was in a reading slump, and I put it on hold, but then unfortunately did succumb to extreme illness. But I'm hoping that so my hold lapsed, but I think it's still at my library branch, so I'm planning to go this afternoon, and I hope that it's still there and I can pick it up. Yeah, so I'm excited.
I hope that for you too. Yeah,
I love. I feel like, I don't know, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I personally love, like, when there's a bunch of different perspectives in a book. I just,
when
like,
it's well done. I think it can be done when it's well done. Super poorly, but
it's
I
hard,
really think the points of view in this book are really good, and it helps you. It's like one of those things where you're like, there's no clear and like villain. I mean, there's just like, I would say in this book there is one clear villain that's purely a villain. But everybody else, you're like, no, I can kind of see it. No, I can kind of see it. Yeah. And you're from one person's perspective and they're like, oh, I hate that bitch. And then you get to her perspective and you're like, well, no, I kind of see where you're coming from. I can't wait for you to read this book and get acquainted with one of my favorite characters of all time.
Oh my God. Which
is Melinda.
Okay.
So you'll see. But yeah, it was so good. Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait. Okay, I can't wait. Genuinely.
We chatted. I'll go quickly over this one because we chatted about it at the top. But I read Futbolista by Johnny Garzavilla, and you've talked about this book on the podcast before. I read it at your recommendation, but it is the story of a young man who's a freshman in college and a very promising collegiate soccer player, football player, and him kind of coming to terms with some things about himself. He thinks he knows everything about himself. He's on a journey to self-discovery, and he's on a push and pull between what's expected of him in the athletic world, specifically like in the Latin culture football world, and who he is and what his friends know him as and how they accept him. I would say the one thing, if I gave this book 4.5. The 0.5 is because I don't really love living in a teenage boy's head.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
As lovable as he is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, you are the purest, most angelic. I love you so much. You're such a sweetheart. Yeah. And you're still a 19-year-old boy.
18, 19.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm actually good. Mm-hmm. So there was elements of that I didn't like where, just the way that he thinks. I think it was true to the experience of being it seemed true to the experience of being an 18-year-old boy. Yeah. But I was like, I'm good, actually.
Yeah.
So that was my 0.5 reduction. For personal preference. I think I don't need to do that anymore. But otherwise it was really, really sweet. I wasn't expecting to be like emotional at points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I saw the cover of this book and I read the back and the premise of this book. I'm like, oh, this will be like a fun little romp. But one of the nuanced things about this book is that Gabi, the main character, is throughout the course of the book learning about philosophy. He's like in a philosophy class. Excuse me. And he uses different classic scenarios from philosophy to kind of like he's reflecting on them, but then like relating them to his life and the moral dilemmas in his life and being seen or being in the shadows, coming out into the sun. So it was really sweet.
I know. I have never like gotten more emotional about a romance book where it's not like, obviously like the one I was just talking about, it's about like someone dying, like that, whatever. But like this one really got me in ways I didn't expect. So, and
it was very unexpected.
I found myself very emotional reading this one as well. So glad it's not just me.
Yeah, no, it was really sweet. I would recommend it. Yeah. Like I would never have picked this up if it wasn't your recommendation. So
I can't even remember why I bought this. So
I think also I think in some ways if you are looking for something to remind you of reading Heated Rivalry, like I keep on forgetting that. Excuse me. My throat is getting tired now. But that like Shane and Ilya are like 18 and 19 at the beginning. Like,
I know.
They're young at the beginning of the book. Yeah. So this kind of like puts you in their early headspace too. I was reminded of them a little bit. So,
yeah.
Okay. And then the last book I read was also a book that you've read before, which is The School for Good Mothers by Jasmine Chan. This book was crazy, dude.
I know.
I just finished it right before we recorded. Wow. Okay. The School for Good Mothers.
I read this pre-pod. I was going to say, I don't think I've ever even talked about it on here because I think I read it before we started.
Okay. It's been a while.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Enlighten us.
The School for Good Mothers is a literary fiction sci-fi dystopian, I would say. Okay. A mashup of those three genres. The book opens and our main character, Frida, is getting a call from like the police saying like, we have your daughter. And she has had a very bad day. So she is like a single parent at the moment. Like she's depressed. She's really tired. She hasn't slept. And she made a really poor decision to leave her daughter at home alone in a swing for multiple hours. Her daughter is like 18 months or something.
Yeah.
So not great. Okay.
Yeah.
But then this sends her down what can only be described as a increasingly horrible experience of trying to rectify the situation, reestablish custody of her daughter. And that's where like the sci-fi dystopian weirdness happens because she gets sent to a school for bad mothers. It's like this new program that the government has rolled out, and it's really, really weird. But it is used as a metaphor for explaining the challenges that parents, specifically mothers, face when navigating like the family services, child protective services, foster care world system, social work system. And it also explores race and prejudice and the different experiences people have based on their race and being parents. And it was really good. I was super sucked in. The writing is incredible. The writing is really, really, really good. And just you get really invested in the characters. It is dark for sure. I shed some tears. But if you're up for something that's challenging and a little dark and dystopian, which I would totally understand if you're not down for. I actually kind of didn't realize it was dystopian when I started reading it. And then I was like, yo. But yeah, give it a shot. Yeah. I don't think this is an extremely cold take. This is like a very well-known book. But yeah, couldn't recommend it enough.
That's great. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah. Do you remember anything about your thoughts when reading that book?
I just looked it up while you were talking. I gave it 4 stars. So, who knows? 4 stars is such a range for me.
You know, it could mean you really loved it. It could mean
I think I really liked it though, because I recommended it. Yeah, but
I think knows? This is it was 4.5 for me. Like, I think the end kind of dragged a little bit, which is my 0.5 deduction. But besides that, it was very, very good. So
yeah, I remember liking it. So yeah, and I remember a lot of details about it, which I feel like pre-podcast books I don't remember as well because I never talked about them. But if I talked about them on here, I remember them a little better.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We'll see you next time.
And go check out our merch shop at www.redirectpodcast.com.
That's where I'll be today. I'm shopping.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.